I'm William Mwembe with Business Time here on Times Television. This is a magazine program where we give the major business and economic news stories making headlines. And coming up in the program today, financial services projected to grow by 6.1%. EU urges Malawi to explore renewable energy. We have these and other stories. In our first story today, the Reserve Bank of Malawi says it expects financial services to grow by 6.1% in 2018. This follows 6.8% growth in 2017. More in this report.
According to the latest current account figures from the Reserve Bank of Malawi, agriculture remains the biggest contributor to the GDP at 28%. The sector was expected to grow by 7.1% in 2017 and is projected to grow by 6.6% in 2018. The slowdown in growth of the agriculture sector could be attributed to the double impact of 4 MWMs and dry spell that have hit most districts in the country. Wholesale and retail trade is the second contributor to the GDP at around 16% and is projected to grow by 5.1% in 2018 from 6.7% in 2017. According to the Reserve Bank of Malawi Financial and Economic Review for the third quarter of 2017, the anticipated strong performance of the sector will see most companies experiencing growth in revenues and performance. Manufacturing, which is the third contributor to the national accounts, is expected to slow down in 2018, with growth projected at 5.1%, down from 6.2%. The slowdown in manufacturing could be attributed to the anticipated fall in agriculture production. The financial and insurance services sector was estimated to grow by 6.8% in 2017 as it benefited from considerably high interest rates. Growth in the insurance sector is benefiting from the current contributory pension arrangement with the introduction of the Pensions Act. In 2018, the sector is projected to grow by 6.1%. Growth in the medium term is expected to be driven by an increase in financial inclusion resulting from the introduction of new technologies such as mobile banking. The construction sector, which grew by 3.6% in 2017, is projected to grow by 6.7% this year, assuming government will continue investing in physical infrastructure. Further, construction of the Kamwamba coal-fired plant, which is expected to commence in 2018, is expected to boost growth in the sector. Another important sector is the information and communication sector, which is expected to soar by 4.7% from 4.5% in 2017. RBM says potential for the sector remains strong as internet service providers seek to grow their customer base and mobile phone operators have large potential to increase sales of units, internet subscription, as well as expanding new services such as mobile banking. Further, mobile phone operators continue to undertake major investment in infrastructure to support their services. Coming to mining and quarrying activities, RBM said the sector is projected to grow by 2.3% in 2018 from 1.7% last year. Coal, which is one of the country's natural resources, is expected to increase due to increased production of fruit-cured tobacco, which requires coal for processing. From Blantyre, this is Taonga Sabola.
Now, despite registering positive strides in 2017, Malawi's economy is still ranked poorly in terms of both the real gross domestic product growth and GDP per capita. Think tanks feel the GDP growth pace may slow this year compared to the case last year. In this report, we compare the country's economic standing with its regional counterparts.
Capitol Hill indicated that the local economy is recovering and was expected to grow by 6.10% in 2017 due to favorable weather pattern, which spur agriculture production and a downward trend in inflation. As at 2016, Malawi's GDP in dollar terms stood at $5 billion compared to $11 billion for Mozambique, $16 billion for Zimbabwe, $21 billion for Zambia, and $47 billion for Tanzania. UK-based the Economic Intelligence Unit, EIU, which projected that the local economy would swell by 4.4% in 2017, says it expects the economy to slow down by 0.3 percentage points in 2018. The World Bank, on the other side, has predicted the local economy to grow by 4.5% this year, a figure lower than most countries which Malawi shares border with, except Mozambique, but whose GDP per capita stand is still higher. Gilbert Kachamba is an economist. He feels Malawi economy should grow by at least 7% annually in the next 5 years or so, if it is to beat its peers.
If you look at the current situation and the current growth rate, I think for Malawi to move from where it is now, we need to have a substantial growth. This time around, we are talking of growth of about 7%. As we have said earlier on the GDP per capita, Malawi population is growing at a very rapid rate. So the little growth that we are achieving is being swallowed by the population growth that is coming. So in so doing, it's like we are stagnant, we are not moving forward. So to surpass the population growth and achieve something which is very good and that will take us somewhere, we need a growth which is much higher than 7%. There are a lot of things that we need to do to turn the economy around. First of all, our rate of investment in Malawi, it's quite too low. It's quite too low that if you look at huge investments, they're not owned by Malawians. Such that we have some cash outflows, the investments are not owned by Malawians, but we need to empower Malawians to own some investments and earn income right here in Malawi. In doing so, that can be one of the way we can achieve a faster growth.
He recommended heavy investment in the private sector and an increased export base if the economy is to grow substantially.
First of all, I would like to say that projections are easy to make, looking at the current trends. But now what matters is what is happening on the ground. Others are saying that Malawi will grow by 4.5%. Government is saying Malawi will grow by 6-point-something%. But now what matters is what is happening on the ground. Looking at the current trend, I think we are way too far to achieve a growth above 5%. I think to compare Malawi and the other economies that have surrounded us, say in the SADC region, I think other countries, they have plans that they have put in place that by this time we want to achieve this, by this time we want to achieve this. But if you look at Malawi, we don't have a concrete plan. If the plans are there, we are not implementing them to achieve what we want to achieve. So we are missing it somewhere where we have good plans, but we are not implementing the plans. So in so doing, we are missing some part of growth.
Comparatively, the Bank of Zambia projected a 4.3% growth in 2017 for the country and 5.1% in 2018 due to improved agriculture and mining output and a recovery in the electricity generation. Tanzania's economic growth is expected to be stable at 7.1% in 2017, supported by expected rebound of the global economy, continued improvement in power supply, and major infrastructure projects. The country is projected to register 7.3% growth in 2018. The World Bank projected that Mozambique's economy is likely to grow by 4.6% in 2017, but revised down to 1.2% and 1.5% for 2018 and 2019, respectively, from 1.3% and 1.7% previously. Zimbabwe's economy is expected to slow down to 3.5% in 2018 from an estimated 3.7% in 2017, according to the country's central bank. I am William Kumwembe.
The European Union has tipped Malawi to explore renewable energy sources as long-term solution to the prevailing power outages. The EU stressed that despite solar technologies being among the expensive energy sources, the country should be able to embrace new technologies that would ensure constant power supply, that in turn may enhance economic growth. This came out on Wednesday in Lilongwe, when the Union committed a total of 16 billion kwacha grant to the Malawi government for the Malawi-Mozambique Interconnector project. Michael German is EU's head of delegation to Malawi.
Power generated by generators is much more expensive. It's 8 cents a kilowatt, while coming from let's say Eskom is 1 cent. So I think for quite a number of companies, producing the energy is just becoming too expensive, and they even have to stop production in certain cases. So I think this more reliable power supply from the region is a really very important investment in the economic potential of Malawi, and in that aspect, it generates economic growth. It generates jobs. And as European Union, together with KfW, we are very glad to support this project. As EU, we are a partner for growth. We are a partner for growth and jobs in Malawi, And I think this investment is a case in point. This is supporting growth and jobs in Malawi. Globally, we see a transition towards more renewable forms of energy. Solar energy is one of them, wind energy is one of them. I think the environment in Malawi makes it conducive to solar energy. So from that aspect, I think Malawi should benefit from this advantage that it has. Also, the advantage of solar energy is that you can do what we call standalone solutions. So you can do off-grid solutions that in certain aspects, in certain regions of the country, I think is very important. So I think Malawi can benefit from this. The other point I raised in my contribution, in my speech, is the need for cost-reflective tariff. And I would like to highlight that. Why is that so important? It is clear that Malawi needs more investment in its energy sector. And because normally in many countries, energy is kind of profit-making business. So you want energies to move in the energy sector in Malawi. But companies will only invest in Malawi if it is clear, what is going to be the tariffs, and if the tariffs reflect, their costs, so that they can recover their costs and make a profit. I think that is the way that we should go, and I think the representative government also said that they are working on that. But I think this is really an urgent issue that will help Malawi address its energy needs sooner rather than later.
And Chimwemwe Banda is Chief Director in the Ministry of Natural Resources, Energy and Mining. As she explains, the government is already doing a lot to curb the prevailing power challenges.
The strategy that we have embarked on the generators, that one it's automatically expensive, because this is a 2-year project where we have generators from Agreco giving us power. It's going to be expensive. And expensive why? Because we're going to use diesel. It's going to be expensive, but the electricity is going to be there. That's why we are working so hard to have alternative energy, so that at least we should not rely on the generators that are expensive. We should have electricity from solar. We should have electricity from wind. We should have electricity from coal, so that at least the price, when we have the different types of electricity coming to our pool, then it's going to be cheaper. But it's also going to be something that is going to be discussed between ESCOM, Ijenko, and MERA, so that we have our prices normal. Almost maybe 8 hours a day would have electricity, but thereafter would not have electricity. Now the coming in of this agreement between EU and KfW to give us money for ESCOM to implement the interconnector from Tete to Balaka, that is very significant, and we are very thankful to our partners for the support that they have given us. We know it's going to take about 2 years, but the step is, we have started the step, the journey continues with hope, because the money is there. Malawi government is willing to work so hard to have this project sustained. And this one, the ESCOM is going to implement it, and ESCOM is a commercial company. Therefore, they should be able to make some money so that they sustain the maintenance of the lines that are going to be installed.
Remember, this is Business Time here on Times Television. We'll be right back. Welcome back. The African Development Bank has said it sees mounting pressure on fiscal spending as Malawi heads towards the 2019 elections. In its Africa Economic Outlook for 2018 released last week, the bank said the increased fiscal spending will come about as the current administration strengthens efforts to win re-election. More in this report.
In its Africa Economic Outlook report for 2018 released last week, the African Development Bank said the increase in fiscal spending would come about as the current administration strengthens efforts to win a re-election. Malawians go to the polls in May 2019 to elect a new leader to propel the impoverished country to prosperity up to May 2024. Analysts have predicted a neck-to-neck contest between the incumbent president Peter Mutharika of the ruling Democratic Progressive Party and the main opposition leader Lazarus Chakwera of the Malawi Congress Party. The Economist Intelligence Unit, EIU, has also predicted that political pressure to protect subsidies and public sector workers' wages will also keep recurrent and overall spending high before the 2019 elections. The EIU says Malawi's fiscal deficit is expected to contract from 3.7% of the GDP in 2016-2017 to 3.2% of the GDP in the 2018-29 fiscal year. In its 2017 economic report, Nico Asset Managers said an increase in expenditure will result in improved livelihood as the vulnerable are cushioned from negative effects of policy reforms. Nico further said a large fiscal deficit may lead to higher government domestic borrowing, which in turn would lead to high interest rates as the liquidity in the market decreases. As at the end of the third quarter of 2017, Malawi's domestic debt stood at 912 billion kwacha, a 7.3% increase from 846 billion kwacha recorded in the second quarter. Speaking when he launched the African Economic Outlook, African Development Bank President Akinwumi Adesina made a compelling case for accelerating Africa's industrialization to create jobs, reduce poverty, and promote inclusive economic growth. Adesina said infrastructure projects were among the most profitable investments any society can make as they significantly contribute to, propel, and sustain a country's economic growth. He said infrastructure, when well managed, provides the financial resources to do everything else. From Blantyre, this is Tawanga Sabola.
Standard Bank has expressed gratitude at the level at which its customers are embracing paperless transactions through online and point-of-sale payments. It has transpired that over 2,000 customers of the bank are using platforms such as the internet and point-of-sale devices, both locally and internationally, to pay for goods and services every month.
This came to light when the bank conducted the second draw in the Transact and Win promotion, where 1,747 customers automatically qualified for using the facilities abroad, while 489 entered the promotion for using the facilities locally. Kalikuti Investments and Elisa Chasi got 750,000 kwacha and 350,000 kwacha respectively for transacting using their electronic cards abroad, while Fayazi Rasu and Wiza Jalakasi got respective prizes for transacting locally. Nevertheless, the bank's head of ecosystems, Webster Mbekeani, implored its customers and Malawians in general to embrace such technologies, stressing that it is what the rest of the world is doing.
There has been a lot of impact. There has been a lot of positive response from our customers since we started the promotion using cards. Customers are using the service as e-commerce, buying goods on the internet, but also customers using the cards swiping on POS devices to purchase different types of goods, both locally here within Malawi, but also internationally. So there has been really a tremendous impact in our move to getting our customers to go digital. My advice to our customers, and I think to the entire Malawian population in general, is that the world is going digital. I think we're trying to move away from using cash to using digital means of transacting, be it on the internet, be it using the card, or whatever means that the mobile phone, and all these channels are available at Standard Bank, and our customers have access to internet banking, have access to the mobile banking, they have access to using the card and e-commerce. So I would like to encourage customers to embrace this move in technology. We've heard the Reserve Bank governor also encouraging the general population to go digital. We've seen MRA encouraging people to go digital.
The development comes against the background of the Reserve Bank complaining that over 159 billion kwacha is in the hands of Malawians in cash, which needs to be mopped out of the system. For Times in Lilongwe, I am Chimomo Mangazi.
And as we proceed with the program, let us now have a look at how the Malawi kwacha is faring against major trading currencies on the foreign exchange market. Malawi Stock Exchange listed TNM says it is impressed with the excitement the Kwatenta promotion has generated. TNM head of marketing Sobuza Ngwenya said this in Blantyre during the 5th draw of the promotion. We have the detail in this report.
TNM head of marketing Sobuza Ngwenya said the company is impressed with the excitement the promotion has generated. So far, the promotion has seen 2 lucky winners driving away with brand new Toyota Hilux pickups valued at 19.8 million kwacha each.
Today we are quite excited as TNM to make sure that when we are doing the draw today, we are quite excited because we have seen that in this 5th draw that we're doing today, there's been quite a lot of support starting from November when we launched this promotion. We're seeing more and more customers that are participating in this promotion. The past 2.5 months have been quite a journey in which we've seen that 2 of our customers, one from Blantyre and the other one from Rumbi, have won the grand prizes for the first 2 grand draws, meaning that we've got one more grand prize that we're going to give in the next 2 weeks to come. This is quite an exciting thing for us as TNM because we have seen that in this promotion we are able to give back to our customers. As at today, when we're doing the 5th draw, 1,200 customers have been able to get individual prizes that we've given away in this promotion, which range from smartphones to power banks, t-shirts and cups. And then we've got 2 brand new vehicles that we've given out. So far, this promotion was not meant to drive the customer base. Our customer base is growing steadily as usual, but the main issue in this promotion was we wanted to encourage our customers to be able to connect, especially because, as you know, we call this as a summer splash promotion, which was happening in a period where our customers were in the summer season, but also running towards a festive season, culminating into the new year. We just wanted to celebrate with our customers, and we're seeing that these objectives are being achieved as we drawing closer to the end of the promotion.
The promotion started on November 9 and will end on February 9, 2018. From Blantyre, this is Taonga Sabola.
Well, with that report, we've also come to the end of today's edition of the program Business Time. From me, William Kumwembe, on behalf of the entire production team, it's goodbye. But always remember, if it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense.